Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining today. The webinar will be recorded, and recordings will be made available afterwards if you'd like to share that with any colleagues or review the material. We'll be done within sort of half an hour. Thank you very much for giving up your time today for this. ETABS has been in the business of helping market research organizations and consumers of market research for a good number of years. And our specialty is data visualization. Everything happens at the reporting stage. So that includes dashboards, online reporting, and automated reporting, which is the focus of today's webinar. We have thankfully won a good number of awards over the years, which pays testimony to the solidness of our offerings and the attention that we give to each one of our clients. We're an international company headquartered in the UK, hence the accent, and we have teams across the world, in the States, even as far as New Zealand. And this way we're able to spread ourselves and provide support around the clock, wherever and whenever our clients might need us. So, is automation all about saving? I think this is what most people would associate with the idea of automation, but there are a few concepts. So, is it just about saving time? Is it because obviously automation is going to make it quicker? Is it about saving costs? Quicker usually means cheaper. Is it about greater efficiencies? Certainly that's a very, very key element. And is it about ensuring accuracy? Because you can trust automation more than humans in terms of making errors. So we believe it is all of the above, but actually it can be applied in so many different ways across the range of projects that you may be responsible for or that your company carries out. We believe it's not actually the headline being saving. We think it's more about creation, because saving is great, but creation actually takes you a whole new step. It creates time for more analysis and insight, because you can let the computer, if you like, or you can let our service do the donkey work of the actual charting process, which means you have more time to think about what the numbers mean. We believe it creates opportunities for added value. You can do more for your clients, do more for your stakeholders, which in turn could end up leading to additional revenue opportunities, as we'll talk about in a few moments. And we believe it also creates greater job satisfaction. I'll just focus a bit on that point, because that's actually the least obvious element of the benefit of report automation. And I distinctly recall several years back going to a rather large organization, and they had a team of 9 people dedicated just for doing charting, manual charting within the organization. And at our presentation, we had the head of that team, as well as other team members, head of operations, analytics and client services, all in the room. And throughout the meeting, this head of the charting team, her face was just like down. She was really, really nervous. And I spoke to her afterwards, and she said, well, it seems like my whole team's going to be redundant now because you've got this automation. Nobody needs us. I said, let's wait and see how things pan out. Your company's decided you're going to take a trial. You're going to evaluate the effectiveness of the product and see how it works. I met with her 9 weeks later, 8 or 9 weeks later, and she said, wow, I was completely wrong. My team is just so much happier now. They've learned these new skills. They've suddenly become the auto charters in the company, and that makes them more noticeable at the top table, and their productivity is just going through the roof. And her team is just like really happy now. She said, for many years they had a high turnover of staff because it was just a very manual process, and of course they're the ones that would be blamed for any errors, for final reporting being late because they didn't stay up all night despite the deadline. And And now they're actually quite happy and relieved that they've got a tool that makes their job better. So it's giving them a better tool to do their job. So, but what isn't automated reporting? Automated reporting isn't just analysis rendered as charts. So the idea of, oh yeah, we've got auto charting in our company is often a statement that I hear from companies that have like an online analysis tool. So you're doing your cross tabulation online, you're doing your analysis, and there's an option to say, oh, show this as a chart, or even put that chart into PowerPoint. That's not automated reporting. That's okay. I can do my analysis that happens to be shown as a chart instead, or as well as. What we believe reporting is actually a almost, if not completely, client deliverable report, PowerPoint deck, whatever it may be, from soup to nuts, ready to give to the client. Not just a bunch of charts that my analysis tool has thrown out into PowerPoint, and now I've got to spend hours tidying them up and changing the labels and doing all sorts of things. So automated reporting means really, this is now ready to give to the client. Many people approach automated reporting through VBA or linked Excel, and those approaches, as anyone who's sort of dipped their feet into the water, are challenging and limiting. Of course, VBA macros can do everything. The whole point of a macro is to do automation. However, it's very tied to a very fixed input and a very fixed output. If anything should change between now and down the line, whether in terms of how the data is coming in, the brand names change, the order changes, an additional brand added to the list, a question change, or the output, oh, the client now wants it in this type of chart or that type of chart, or let's change this slide, let's change the layout, then that whole macro, that whole linking, that whole VBA goes out the window and you're starting afresh. That's not our idea of automated reporting. So let me show you exactly what is our idea of auto reporting, and we're going to see our flagship product, eTabs Enterprise, in action now. This is a pre-recording. I'm basically showing you the template here. It's got several slides, and it's going to, in a few moments, take these PowerPoint slides and run them across multiple countries. So we'll see in a few moments. It's now starting the France report, and then we'll do Italy, Germany, and so UK, so on, following the same template, populating it automatically with data for each of those countries, and adjusting formatting, putting different flags, different brand logos, depending on the order of the brands. This is all very fictional data, fictional reporting. So you can see happening in the background there, the images for the top car brands are appearing there. Stat testing will go onto the charts, highlighting values and calculating NPS scores. So that's the France report. Now it's going on to the next one, Germany. There we go. Of course, each country may have a different set of top 3 competitors. Our software actually works in 3 phases. The first phase is putting data into each of the slides that you've chosen. The second phase will do calculations like significance testing, like sorting, re-ranking, comparing trends, comparing against different values. And then the third and final phase will do the fun bit, the really sexy stuff, which is the conditional formatting, putting the brand logos in automatically, showing indicators on a chart, coloring, heat maps, and so on. You see it's doing Italy now in the background. That's now finished. So you've got those 3 reports, Italy, Germany, and France. Each one is slightly different, again, because of the different number of competitors, or also different competitors, different brands that are being compared in different countries. So it's able to handle variation across the range. So we can handle variation not only in a one-time project that's delivered across multiple markets, but variation in a tracker So brands coming in, brands going out across time, or values being so low that you don't want to show them, so we can suppress the low base and have different actions. And the way that the system works essentially is it pulls data in from existing data sources, Excel, crosstabs, SAV files, Wincross, Quantum, Dimensions, you name it, and then merges that data into your chosen template in PowerPoint. So you're able to use up whatever types of charts, whatever types of layout formatting that you typically do in PowerPoint. You can use all of that and just automate the data going into there, which is a very, very powerful approach. So it's more than just auto charting, and hence why we like to call this auto reporting. Sorry. So, hang on, sorry about this. You should know it's live. Okay, so is automation only for trackers? That's the urban myth that we often hear associated with automation. I think it's very true to say that trackers are the low-hanging fruit, because you're doing the same thing every month, every quarter. So you might as well consider automating it. And of course, that means a huge ROI wave after wave. You're going to invest more time in the first setup, the first wave that you apply the automation, and then a fraction of that time going forward. So for example, maybe you'll spend 3-4 days setting up the automation for your, I don't know, 60, 70, 80 slide deck, and then the actual running may only take a couple of minutes. So although you've invested 3-4 days up front, next month or next quarter, it's just 3 or 4 minutes, and that's a very powerful ROI, very tangible. Now imagine it's not just a tracker, single dimensional, but it's multi-market. So I now have to do every quarter the same deck for each of 20 countries. You can see how the ROI mounts up very, very rapidly there. And because what we're calling this as auto reporting, even the minutest of details can be automated. So like I said, the variance across time, the variance between markets and categories, all those complexities can all be handled in the process and make it as hands-free as you want. I'll mention just one particular project that comes to mind, where it was a yearly tracker. It was 60 countries and 200 slides being delivered for each and every country every year. And this was done in India and by a large global research organization. And they spent 4,000 hours every year doing that by hand. Once they took us on board, they reduced those 4,000 hours to first time round a couple of weeks getting it all set up. And then the subsequent year, all 200 decks were populated and delivered within 36 hours, including time for checking. So from 4,000 hours down to 36 hours, it's pretty good. But it's not just about trackers. You've got scorecards, you've got dashboards that are delivered in PowerPoint or delivered in Excel. All those can be automated as well. Now consider a one-time multi-market project. So again, if you had 20 countries, you'd spend whatever it took to do one country, you do that 20 times over. So there's a one-time project, great. So you have a template now that works across all 20 countries. Let's just set up that one template and replicate it automatically and populate 20 different market reports in the same process. Again, there may well be variance between countries, different number of brands, different brands themselves, and other rules that need to be applied as part of the automation, and that's all possible. How about copy testing, concept testing, where you have a standard template and you just want to churn that out like a cookie cutter, if you like. Again, allowing for variance. So sometimes we're comparing 2 copies or 3 or 4. And so we have to have the flexibility to deal with the different number of ads copy that are being shown and are being compared at any one point in time. Think about customer sat or employee satisfaction studies, where the same report has to be generated for multiple departments or for multiple categories of customers or multiple stores and departments, regional level, store level, and so on. Again, it may be a one-time project, but we can repeat it over and automate it over and over for greater results. Even syndicated studies, where you've got several people buying into the same project, and perhaps till now, each of those syndicate clients gets their copy of the deck, which is the same that everyone else gets in the syndicate. However, with automation, you've now got the ability to deliver that same deck, but customized automatically to each of the syndicate members. So for, let's say, different car manufacturers, let's say Volvo's in there. So Volvo will get the Volvo report with Volvo branding, with Volvo shown in the rank, in the sorting at the top of the sort, even if they may not be top at that time, and then everything else ranked below it, but based on the branding. Customization, personalization add a lot more value to those syndicated studies. If you were going to do all that personalization by hand, that's a lot of effort, a lot of work. Omnibus studies, again, could have a standard template that replicates slides according to the number of questions that have been asked automatically. We call that modeling, so it models that same slide or set of slides over and over. Even a one-time ad hoc project, I mean, it tends not to be the case where you're going to see huge savings. Just if you think of, oh, it's a one-time project, it's one deliverable, what's the point in automating it? And often that would be the case, because you might be telling the story as you go along, and therefore you can't necessarily always preempt what you're going to include in your output. But we've got clients where they've invested in the automation, mostly for these repeat studies, but in ad hoc, they see the value of this as a means of either over charting and then cherry picking, or being able to build up the deck with interim data and then refreshing it when the final deck is ready to go out, when the final data comes in, and therefore being able to, really leave things at the last minute if necessary, before closing off field work, doing the tabulations, and being able to deliver can be a real time saver. But also as an insurance policy, I know this is just hypothetical, but for example, you spent the whole night getting your presentation ready, hand posting all those numbers into the deck, and you got to show this to your client 10 o'clock the next morning. 9 a.m. you get an email from your DP guy saying, "Oh, sorry, I hope you didn't do the charting yet, because I sent you the unweighted data instead of the weighted data." All hell breaks loose. But on the other hand, had it been set up with automation in mind, then it would just be a case of, don't worry, that's fine, drag and drop the new Excel file, new data tabs that have the weighted data, the corrected data, click, refresh, bang, and manage to save the day with that. And it's not just limited to PowerPoint in the traditional sense of charts, data tables, summaries, and so on, but we can even, using a plugin of ours called Visuals, automatically drive data into infographics, so maps, proportional images. You can see here the male, female. You can see these guys, or whatever icons they may be, are filled with different color, or filled with a color percentage, based on their percentage, and so on. And some nice pictographs, word clouds. All this can be added into your presentation deck of traditional PowerPoint, alongside having visualizations that make everything just so much more lively. So how can eTabs help you? So we offer different options. Either our software can be provided to you as a license, you use it in-house. Obviously, we provide training and ongoing support. We also offer a service approach. So if you're not in the mood to have a new piece of software installed and learn it, we can do that. We can do the whole automation for you. You'd send us your PowerPoint deck, you'd send us your data tables, our team will go off and automate it and send you back the populated outputs. We have a team of consultants offering data visualization and infographics, so we can improve on the look of your final deliverables as well, and provide consulting on that. And as I mentioned earlier on, we also do online dashboards, interactive reporting as well. So if your end clients want to have online access and be able to see the KPIs or the dashboard scorecards, we can help you with that area as well. I think particularly in these strange and difficult times that we're all finding ourselves, the ability to invest now for how we're going to come out of COVID will enable us to come out stronger. So being able to decrease the cost and the effort, particularly manual effort involved in the reporting process, be able to therefore use your own expertise more valuably for having the time, like I said, to create time for additional analysis and insight. Being able to now offer more to your clients and stakeholders. So that syndicated idea, you're now able to deliver customized reports. Or for example, let's say you're doing a quarterly tracker, but you're collecting the data monthly and couldn't even think of doing reporting monthly. Well, now it's the same effort to report monthly as it is quarterly. 2-3 minutes, bang, and the report's updated. So you're now able to offer your clients monthly reporting, perhaps for the same cost as you were doing quarterly, or more if you want to. But it really means by going the extra mile, your clients will get more value out of what you're able to provide them. You'll be able to deliver more on time. Everyone's suffering now from reduced resources, whether staff are furloughed or companies have had to shrink to really survive this crisis. You may be able to really see the light at the end of the tunnel now by leveraging automation in order to, like I said, come out stronger. And that will mean increased profit margins, which of course that's the bottom line, and that's what we all need in order to keep a presence going forward as we come out of this. So that's the end of our webinar for today. Please do feel free to ask questions, and I'll be very happy to answer those in the next few minutes. You have our website up there on the screen and my contact details if you wish to reach out. Very happy to take any questions now. And yep, got our first question over here. How do you deal with stat testing? So the good question. A couple of ways we can deal with stat testing. Stat testing can either be might be present already in your banner tables, so your stats package or analysis package, quantum, ring cross, dimensions, whatever it may be, puts the stat letters inside your banner tables. So we can lift those out as we put out the numbers in the same way and show those perhaps on the chart, show them on a table on the slides. We can also do more than that. We can re-render those stat letters as indicators, arrows, circles, squares, traffic lights, or whatever you may like as a means of showing the significance. Next question is, can you please make a quick demonstration about the programming starting from the data set to the final output? We don't have time for that today, but I'm more than happy to have a follow-up call with you and show you that process. Very straightforward, and you'll be able, it's literally point and click to your data from the tables into whatever PowerPoint slide you've designed, and then connect up the data to that slide, and away you go. But I'm happy to schedule a one-to-one presentation to cover that, because we really don't have the time for that right now. Next question, is there a limit to the number of charts or objects on each slide? No, there is no limit. And our starting point is whatever is presented to the software in your PowerPoint deck. So if you've got a slide showing 9 KPIs side by side and a table and images, brand logos and so on, absolutely fine. There's no limit to the number of charts on any given slide or any number of objects that we can automate in the process. Another question is, what are the decks change between waves? Okay, so like I said earlier on, that's not an issue at all. We can deal with variance, especially if it's variance that you can potentially anticipate. I know up front that the number of brands may change from wave to wave, or the order might need to change. So I can build allowance for that in the actual setup process to make it go completely smoothly going forward. And if down the line you do need to make changes either to the output or there are unanticipated changes to the data structure coming in, again, our whole approach is so different to the VBA macro approach that we can handle that change. And it's very simple to make formatting changes or to make allowance for different data structures coming in at any point in the cycle of a project. Can I pull in data from more than one Excel file? Yes, you can. There's no limit to the number of data places that we can pull from. So if you've got data for different waves in different Excel files or different worksheets within the same workbook, or you need to compare that with norm data, benchmark values from another file, yeah, absolutely fine. So there's no hard limit on the number of actual source files that you can bring data in from each time. What are the typical time savings? Good question. So if I go back to that example, the 60 country, 200 slide per country deck, going down from 4,000 man hours down to what, a total of, let's say, 24, 48 hours. I'd say that's huge. Obviously, and of course, it's multi-country and it's multi-wave. But even if it didn't have the extra dimension of being multi-country, multi-wave, typically most clients report at least 80% time savings, yeah, with each time that they run the project, obviously. Do you offer a trial? Yes, we do. We offer free trials for prospective clients to try out the software on their own projects. There's no limit to the number of projects you can put through the trial. We want you to really put it through its paces and see how you can prove it works for you. So yes, definitely reach out to us. I'm more than happy to arrange that. Is there any flexibility in automation? Absolutely, and like I said, we can make allowance for flexibility. Is it making allowance for changing in brands, changing structure? A lot of flexibility there. So not everything is going to be so cookie cutter, and you need to be able to make adjustments, just like we're all adjusting to this new reality of life and the new world. Yes, we can deal with the flexibility needed in the automation. Does data need to be exactly the same, or can there be changes to the wave country to country? Yeah, so again, like I mentioned, yeah, you can have differences from country to country, from wave to wave, in the order of brands, or the number of brands, or categories, or whatever it may be. Question text changing, we can handle with all those different things. Okay. Any other questions? As we're coming up to the end of our 30 minutes of this webinar. I'd be very happy, like I said, if you think of anything that you missed and you want to ask, then please do send us an email. Also check out our website. There's examples up there, and we'd be more than happy to help you and set up a one-to-one conversation and a customized demonstration, if you like, based on your own needs, and discuss your challenges and see how we can work together to do that for you. We'll hold around another couple of minutes in case anyone else wants to ask. Definitely, please all stay safe and stay healthy, and let's all come out of this on the other side stronger and better than before. Thank you very much for your time today.